and just take a stance that's a little bit wider than your hips. So you got a little bit of nice grounding there. And just start to soften your knees and just bounce your knees gently a few times, just feeling the earth below you, feeling your toes spread out, grounded into the floor. And then take a deep breath in and lift your arms, open your chest a little bit, and then release the arms back down, soften the knees. Inhale, stretch the legs, lift the heart, and exhale, release. Inhale, open the body to receive the breath. Exhale, let it go. Breathe in. Exhale, release. Just using these few last breaths here just to arrive into your body, arrive into our Pilates practice today. Some version of Pilates. This is movement, mindful movement. Inhale, lift up. On this last one, bring your palms together. Just bring them straight down through your heart center. And just take a moment to feel your body in space, your fingers connecting, your feet supported with the earth below you. The spine open and tall. And just take a few moments to notice your breath here, notice your energy. Notice the beating of your heart. Maybe setting an intention for your movement practice today. We'll release the arms and you'll grab your prop, whatever your prop is, and you'll bring your prop between your knees or just above your knees if it's not comfortable. You can go up on the inner thighs. So your stance with your feet will be a lot more narrow, right? So you'll feel that your hips, your knees, and your ankles are stacked there. And again, you'll just bounce the knees gently, let the arms just dangle, and start to use a little bit of momentum. Let your arms just swing here. And then when it feels right, let your arms swing up and circle up and release back down. Let them swing a few more times. All right, so just find your own timing with this. Open up and continue to swing and bounce. So finding some buoyancy through the body, some spring, letting your breath and your movement find each other in a natural way, feeling easeful through the joints here. All right, finding your own pace. Do a couple more of those circles. Again, you're letting your body tell you when to come into that circle. And on your last one, come down into a version of chair pose here, like a squat, and allow your arms to kind of fly back behind you. And I'll show from the side. So if you feel like your back feels a bit compressive here, you can bring a little bit of tuck into your tail to round the lower back. Otherwise, you can feel your sits bones wide. You can keep bouncing a little bit there, like Emily is there, that's great. And feel a bit of connection around that prop. You don't have to squeeze hard, but just feel the inner thighs roll in towards each other. Pause with your movement, swing the arms back. Feel the collarbones open. Again, the sitting bones wide. Breathe into the body. Feel your weight shift slightly into your heels, even though your toes are still connected to the floor. And then deepen your knee bend, swing the arms, stand up, open the arms, lift the heart, release the arms down by your side. And we'll do that again. Swing the arms forward and then swing them back and keep them back there. You might feel like your elbows bend and kind of lift a little bit towards the ceiling. As again, you feel the widening through your sits bones, and you might even deepen the flexion in your hips so the hips go back even further. If the neck gets tense, just move the head a little bit from side to side. Maybe adding some movement in there just to keep the body from tensing in a place where it doesn't need to tense. And then when you're ready, swing the arms, lifting up, and opening, releasing the arms back down. Okay, so we'll keep the prop here, adjust it anytime you need to. And I encourage you to keep a little bit of softness in your knees, just so you're not locking back. You might feel the kneecaps lifting up slightly, but it's just feeling of connection through the body instead of locking back into the knees. From here, we'll do just a little bend with the knees as the arms come forward. You'll lift your heels up off the floor, and then you'll push away from the floor, testing your balance here, feeling the body long but also grounded, pushing the big toes into the earth. And then slowly release the heels and the arms, trying to come down nice and slow. Now do that again. You'll bend just the knees a little bit, and then you'll lift the heels, right? So the arms are out in front. Pause here and feel all 10 toes connected. Even your pinky toe, and notice your big toe. Feel it ground down, press away from the floor. Lift the arms. Have a moment here to feel the body reaching up and grounding down at the same time. And then slowly releasing the heels as the arms release down. One more time like this. Bend the knees. Lift the heels. Arms come out. You find your balance here by all 10 toes connecting. You press away from the floor. You feel the energy channeling down into the earth. And that allows your spine to find extension up towards the sky. And slowly releasing arms and heels. Good. Take your prop out. Maybe just move through your heels a little bit to reset from that. You can put your prop off to the side or on the floor. And take the hands behind the head, so you interlace your fingers. And you can take your feet however you want them to be. You might want them a little wider than your hips. Inhale as your arms go up and over. Soften your knees and curve your spine down towards that right side. Find center, rolling over to the left side. And then standing up straight legs to find center. Go in the same direction again. Over to the side. Curl gently through the spine. Opening through the back of the neck, coming back. Again, feeling that movement through your upper spine. And then once you come back to center, reversing. So 3, finding your own pace as you make these circles. Deepening your breath. Feeling the opening through the spaces of the rib cage, the shoulder, wherever your body might need it. And then we'll come back to center. Bring your left elbow up to the ceiling. So it's, let your left hand kind of touch the back of your neck so your elbow's pointing up. And then grab that elbow and just give it a little bit of a pull wherever it works for your body today. And just opening up some space in the shoulder. And finding center, and the other hand comes to the back of the neck. Elbow points up. You just gently pull on the elbow coming across. And taking some time to breathe into the side body. And gently coming back up. Okay, so I'm going to have you stand on one side of your mat facing the other end. So it'll be something like this. You can think of standing at the back edge of your mat and find a parallel position for your feet, and just take a moment to feel your skeleton stacked, to feel your energy and your breath maintaining your posture here. And when you feel ready, inhale to open your arms up to the sky, lift the heart like you did earlier. And then release the arms down, bring your chin towards your chest and roll down through your spine. Roll down, let the head and the arms be heavy. And then let your knees soften so your hands can catch the floor, and let your hands slowly walk out, not to a full plank. We'll have the knees stay bent here. Let the knees rest down. And you can keep the toes tucked under or release them, whatever you want. And let your hips shift back and forward over your hands, right? Nice and simple, just shifting, bringing some weight into the joints. As we move through the practice, just be very conscious of what your body is calling for you today. So if you need to change anything, if a body part feels sensitive, like knees or wrists or back, please adjust so that you feel supported in your movement. So as we start to bring this weight into our shoulders, we create some organization here. So we'll pause with the weight over the shoulders, And this next movement's very small. All you're gonna do is let your chest drop down a little bit so your shoulders will sink, and then you'll press away and feel the shoulders wide on the back. So the elbows stay long, not locked, but long. And the spine is relatively neutral. We're not doing a cat-cow here, any curving with the back. We're just allowing the shoulders to find their space and become more aware and more connected. And then next time that you press up, if your toes aren't tucked under, go ahead and tuck them under. Lift your hips up. So you're in a little down dog for a brief moment, and just gently walk your hands back towards your feet again. And let your head fall down, the crown of your head just rest down towards the mat. Take a few moments here and just let the body rest here. Let your breath be easy. Let the knees be as bent as they need to be. And keep them soft as you let the head and the arms dangle. Drop the tailbone and slowly roll up through your spine again. Take your time so that the head will come up at the very, very end. And you feel the stacking of your spine as you return to standing. And we'll go again. Take a deep breath in, lift the arms, lift the heart. Release the arms. Bring the chin to the chest, round the upper spine, so let the head lead your spine down, down, down. Let gravity do the work for you. And then start to walk your hands out. Similar to the position we were just in, but this time we won't let the knees touch, right? But we're gonna do a shift again. So we'll shift back towards the heels and pause for a moment. So bring your awareness into your shoulders. Feel the space through the shoulders. Feel your knuckles of your hands evenly connected into the mat. So especially that index finger and that thumb. And then slowly make your way over your hand without disturbing support through your shoulders. So in other words, not sinking in the shoulders. And then pressing back. All right, so continue to shift forward and back, your pace here. Breathing, one breath to shift forward, one breath to send you back. Feeling the space in the spine, the stability and health of the shoulder girdle as you come forward. One more time. Pause here. Feel the low belly lifting in and up, the sits bones wide, and then maybe do some little bounces with the knees up and down, warming up through the spine or through the abdominals. And really connect to your breath here, right? We really need that support of the exhale. Feel the neck free. You can always move the neck a little bit if it starts to tense. And then shift into a little version of down dog. Take one moment there, one breath there. And then gently walking the hands back. Taking a moment to fall over your thighs. You might feel a little more open in your spine after doing this a couple of times now. You might shake the head no, nod it yes. And take about 5 breaths just hanging here. Your body might feel comfortable stretching the legs if you want to open the hamstrings there, but we're primarily looking to open the spine. So feel free to keep the knees as soft as they need to be. Let the arms truly dangle. And then feel the tailbone heavy towards the earth as you slowly roll back up to stand. Feel the belly button drawing in and up, the feet grounding down into the earth. Your back to an open, tall spine. Last one here. Inhale, open the arms, lift the chest. Exhale, relax the arms, chin to the chest, curl over your legs. Let the weight of the head drop you down, down, down. Soften the knees whenever you need to. Walk out to a full plank this time. Out in your full plank, you feel that connection into your shoulders. If it feels vulnerable in your back or your shoulders or your wrists, go ahead and just bend your knees onto the mat. All right, from here, we're gonna shift again, right? So we're gonna bend the knees and shift away from the hands. And exhale, smooth transition over the hands. Breathe, the hips go up and back. And exhale, shoulders lift up and over the hands. Good, keep it moving. So the moment that you're shifting, you're thinking about your hands and the back of your heart lifting up a little bit towards the ceiling to help you find that really supportive place for your shoulders once you arrive. Good, do one more time there. And then once you're in plank, pause if you're okay to hold into plank. Feel your kneecaps lifting up, the low belly engaged, and really connect to a long exhale. Feel your index finger ground, and without lifting your chin, just shine your heart a little bit forward. Find that little bit of change in your upper spine. And then breathe as you shift the hips back. And pause around here in a downward facing dog. You can adjust the feet any way you want. You might want to pedal through the feet. You might want to shake the head out a little bit. Just taking some time to reset here. Gently lower the knees all the way to the mat and let them be far apart from one another. Big toes close to each other, and take a child's pose here if you like, extending the arms or resting them by your sides. Just noticing your body and your energy and the quality of your breath at this stage. And checking in. Stay here for 4 to 6 more breaths, allowing your breath to fill the back of your body, allowing your hips to sink and rest a little bit deeper into the pose. And then nice and easy, bring yourself up to sit. Okay, so next we're gonna do an exercise that might take our body a little bit off the mat. So if you've got some stuff around you, try to just make a little bit of space so you don't knock things over. It's not gonna be that crazy, but you want a little bit of flexibility with the mat. So what we're gonna do is face the side of your mat, right? So here I'm facing the front of my mat, so you'll face the side. And you're gonna have your feet out in front of you. Can you go a little bit to your right, just so they can see you better, yeah. And your hands a bit behind you. Yeah, and then Emily might be able to demonstrate this better than me. She's got a little more space. So we're gonna let our knees just windshield wiper to one side and the other side. Right, so nice and simple, bringing some nice movement into the hips. And a lot of emphasis on the shoulders through this class. So we'll think of really having nice support through the shoulders. We don't wanna lock into our elbows or sink into our shoulders like this. We wanna find some lift there. So continue that movement. You might take your feet farther apart if you wanna go a little bigger. Good. And then we're just gonna add to this. So the next time that you go to the left here, pick up the right foot and then put it on the floor in front of you. Okay, and then we'll do the same on the other side. We'll go over here, we'll lower the right, we'll take the left over onto the floor. Okay, so if I did this quicker, it would be something like rolling on my bum and then the top foot landing. Rolling on my bum, top foot lands. Right, so it has some ease to it. So really the emphasis on this movement is to bring this sense of ease to the joints in these spiral movements, getting up and out of the floor. Now, when we come to land that foot, we're gonna shift more weight onto that foot and bring your front arm forward. So it's like you're about to stand up, but you don't, and you come back down. And you roll over, the top foot lands, and you put a little weight into your shin and your foot, and you come back. Right? This is actually a really useful tool to have as we age, getting that flexibility in and out of the floor, and really using the body to come up. Now, a lot of this is timing, so if you go quicker, you might find it easier. Okay, so I'm gonna go a bit quicker. Emily, do whatever you feel like doing. It can get fun. And you might notice you're coming off your mat a little bit. And if you're feeling inspired, you might stand up and come back down. Or not, it's up to you. And you might notice one side is a lot easier than the other side, right? And you might keep going, Emily, and do whatever you want. I'm gonna take it. You might decide that's a bit too much, and you might do the smaller version. Yeah. And let's do about 4 more, and think of your timing, kind of quickly up and lower down, and push up and lower down, and push up, lower down. One more time, push up, lower down. Get the heart rate going too. Okay, so you can turn to face the long side of your mat again and grab your prop, whatever your prop is. We're gonna bring our prop between our knees. If you've got a block, you can take it wider if you want to. It's really just preference, whoever feels more comfortable on your hips. Okay, we're gonna bring the arms out in front. We can walk the feet out quite far just so we've got some space for the hips. We're gonna open the arms wide and lift the chest. Take a breath in. Curl from the tailbone, curl the lower spine, nice and then pause. And breathe deeply and slowly, right? And so it's all about the breath here. You might open the arms a little wider. You might move the head a little bit from side to side just to check in with the neck isn't tensing. And then bring the hands behind your thighs, pull, and bring yourself back up to sit. Now, if you felt any kind of strain in your back, I just recommend keeping your hands behind your thighs. You don't have to release them, right? We'll start with them behind our thighs for the next version. So you'll curl back from your tailbone. We'll keep the chest nice and open. So we're not rounding the shoulders here. We keep feeling open through the chest. We're really just curling through that lower back. Yeah, and then you can pause there, either keeping the hands there or releasing for more of a challenge like you did earlier. Feel some energy reaching out through the fingers. Feel the breath, light and alive, moving through your body. Creating some activation and heat building into the core. And you might curl back another millimeter lower just to challenge yourself a bit more if it's feeling good to take that challenge. Bring the hands behind your thighs and smoothly rolling back up. Put your prop down for the moment and let your knees open. And just shift forward so your tailbone tips back and you receive a little opening in your hips there. You might do a little shift from side to side. Okay, coming on back. This time, knees come back, but this time your prop is going to be in your hands. And so, just like before, your knees will be parallel, but you can have your feet wider if it's more comfortable on your hips. They don't have to be close together on this one. Arms straight out in front of you. Yeah, and then same as before, the chest stays open, but you just curl from your tailbone and then pause for a moment before you go much more. Have a sense that you're creating space between your bottom rib and your pelvis, right? And then you continue to roll down a little bit more, creating that space between your ribs and your hips. Rest the shoulders. Breathe smooth and steady. Let the breath teach your body that you can stay calm and connected even in this challenge. Now let your prop come into your right hand and open out to the side. And then bring that prop to the other hand, open to the other side. Right? You can make this as small or big as you want to. Breathe as you open. Make sure you continue the breath. If it starts to feel unsteady in any way, just come forward a little bit more. We'll come to one more on each side. You can always drop the prop and just hold on behind the thighs. Prop comes back into the hands. Maybe curl back one more millimeter. Exhale, deepen the low belly into your body and then curl forward. And then when you come up, open the knees and lift the arms and lift the chest. Take a moment here. Feel the arms lifting up and then the shoulders sink down your spine. Feel the ribs lifted away from your pelvis and then bring the arms out in front again. Be right up on your sits bones, so you might do a little bit of side to side rocking on your hips. This next one is a bit different. Instead of curving the low back, we're going to stay in a flat back, which means it's not going to go nearly as far. So from my whole spine staying in one connected unit, I'm just going to lean my chest back, right? And so I just stay wherever my body lands there, right? And I feel the front of my abdominals, the back of my abdominals, because some of them do wrap back there, wrap around my spine evenly. And then maybe I start to lift my chest a little bit more, and then I lower down towards the floor. And breathe in, keeping the spine super long, super connected. And when in doubt, if your back is doing more work or compressing, all you have to do is make it a smaller range of motion and move the body forward a little bit. We'll do one more time. Good. Lifting up through here. Good. And then bring it back and lower your prop to the floor. Bring your hands onto your shins and just bring your body forward for another stretch there. You might want to round your spine if that feels good for you, to let your head rest down towards the floor. Just take a few moments to reset here. Let your exhale create some space in the body, some release into the floor. Gently rolling back up again. Okay, so you're going to take your prop into your hands, lie on your back, and bring your prop underneath your pelvis. So your hips are elevated. Yeah, a little bit lower. Yeah, so once you're there, it should feel comfortable on your back. And we'll just take a few moments here to connect to our breathing. And so the setup with your body is that the bones are well aligned. So the ankles, the knees, and the hips are in one line. So your foot placement might feel a little bit more narrow than usual. Arms are resting down by your sides. As you breathe, you might even want to bring your hands onto your low belly, actually, just to feel and sense your low belly breath. So feel your breath open into your hands on your inhale. And feel it dissolve on the exhale. So we're letting the air move down, we're letting the diaphragm move and bring the breath all the way down into the belly versus just keeping it up here in the chest, right? We're really letting it move down into the belly. It expands like a big Buddha belly on the inhale. It rests and dissolves on the exhale. And this is where our core support really is. It's in the release of that exhale and that drawing in and allowing for movement to happen in the belly. Now, if your hands are on your belly, rest them back down again. We'll change the focus of the breath into the low back, which can be a lot trickier to feel, but just imagine it and sense that there is some movement happening. Think of like your kidney area. So inhale into the back body. Slowly release, let it dissolve. And keep that moving 4 or 5 more times. Really bringing your awareness into this space, creating circulation, movement. You might find that your breath lasts longer. You can take a longer exhale, which is really nourishing for our nervous system. So the next time that you exhale and you feel the belly dissolve from the front back side, you feel this connection, almost like a gentle corset coming into the center of your body. Almost exaggerate that exhale. So you exhale out even a little bit more air. And you might notice, it's very subtle, but you might notice the muscles underneath your belly button kind of draw inwards, and they're very deep. They're not the six pack, they're way deep, close to the spine. And that's what we're going to use to bring the right leg to tabletop. We're gonna pause here. We're gonna feel the body breathe in the low back, low belly. We're gonna exhale all the air out. Low belly draws in, then we allow the left knee to float in, right? So we've got really good support. Here in tabletop, feel your top ribs soften down a little bit into your body. So your back ribs as well, feel that they're widening and dropping down towards the floor. And we'll go into toe taps here. So one foot comes down towards the mat or touches the mat, and you inhale to pull it back in. Exhale, one foot taps, inhale. As you continue at your own time, I recommend using the exhale to reach down and out, right? Because that's supporting the weight of the leg. And then using the inhale to float the knee back in. There's no right or wrong, really. It's just a nice way to tap into that, the diaphragm supporting you, the transverse deep abdominals activating, getting more organized. The further you reach the foot out, the more challenge for the body. Next, as you exhale, stretch one leg out. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, extend. Inhale, pull it in. Keep going at your own pace. Right, and so the challenge here can be to find that the belly drawing in, the rib cage drawing in, but at the same time relaxing the shoulders, which is a lot to negotiate, but just gets better with practice. Let's say. And it's harder on a ball. Like Emily's on a ball, and it's actually a lot more to negotiate. The body has to balance. Do one more with the left. And once you're even, pause there. Now let your knees fall into your chest, and just take a moment there to rest. Yeah, nice job. And again, you can bring your awareness into your back body breathing. Allow your ribs to expand with the inhale, to rest on the exhale. And then on your next breath, come back into the tabletop shape. In this shape, you'll turn your legs out so the heels are together, but knees are apart. And the knees are directly over the hips, right? And you can flex your feet and have a little bit, if you push your heels together, you might feel your inner thighs kick on a little bit. And then from here, you're gonna maintain the softness in the ribs, the exhale, drawing the belly in, and then the knees are gonna lower down just a couple inches, not far at all, towards the floor, and then float back in. So the shape of your leg stays the same, it just goes down a little bit towards the floor, the heels kind of go down, and they lift back up. Yeah. And so you'll notice that the challenge is in keeping the pelvis still, and then see if you can really tap into that strong exhale. You can assertively exhale the air out. And then pause for a moment. If you need to draw the knees in for a moment, for a little break, you can do that. The next part will be keeping the turnout and extending the legs out as far as you want to go. They don't have to go completely straight, but the inner thighs are drawing in towards each other as much as they can, and you inhale, bend the knees back out again. Right, so you exhale and you stretch the legs, you try to connect the inner thighs towards each other, and you inhale, knees go to the side. Exhale. Now remember, if you're feeling any kind of vulnerability or compression in your back, just go one foot down. You can do one leg. You don't have to go all the way to straight. There's many ways you can just adopt it to challenge you just enough without causing any sort of compression or discomfort in the spine. One more time here. Hold it out there, squeezing your thighs together. Point your feet, flex your feet. Point your feet, flex. Keep breathing. 3, strong exhale. 2, last 1, and bend the knees all the way into your chest and take a break there. And let the knees come apart. And do a little shifting side to side, a little rocking, whatever feels nice on your hips and your back. Let the neck relax. Sometimes the neck and jaw tense when we're concentrating on something new. So just checking in with the neck and letting the head drift side to side a couple times can be helpful. All right, and bring the knees together, set the feet back down onto the mat, and you'll take your prop out, just put it off to the side, we don't need it for now. So for this one, we're gonna come into an articulating bridge where we move through each part of the spine. So just like before, we want the knees and the feet aligned, tuck the tail under and roll up through the spine. The goal here is not to lift the hips up at their highest. The goal is to find length from your chest out through your knees. So reaching your knees away from your head, creating space in your spine. And so you might need to tuck your pelvis under even more, and you should feel the backs of your legs kick on. From here, exhale, soften your sternum first, like there's almost a weight on your chest. And roll down super slow, one vertebrae at a time, keeping the tuck of the tail until the very end. You come to the mat and you release the tail. And we'll go again, ground through all 10 toes, tuck from the tail and roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, reaching the knees away from the chest, feeling long in the body. Take some time here on this one and just take some deeper breaths into the whole body. Check in that the neck and the jaw are relaxed, the shoulders relaxed. Tuck the tail under more so the fire is underneath the legs. And then like a teeter-totter, let one hip drop down an inch or two, like the hips are uneven, and then go to the other side, drops. Right, so little drops, they can be smaller than what I'm going a little bit bigger with my movement just so you can see, but you can make it smaller. Stay connected to your breathing. Feel the shifting through the feet. And once you're even with those, come back to center, tuck the tail under even more, roll down one segment at a time, keeping the tuck for as long as you can, and then let it go at the very end. Okay, so next we're going to walk the feet out a little further, so you got quite a bit of space for your hips. Reach the arms back behind you, take a big full inhale. Exhale, arms, head, and chest, roll up, grab on behind your thighs, and smoothly pull yourself up to sit. Okay, we're gonna go into a little series for the movement of the spine. That's some of the more classical exercises. So you're gonna bring your legs, your knees into your chest and come into a little ball. And this exercise is called rolling like a ball. So it's kind of self-explanatory. You just roll back, and then you try to roll up without your feet touching, and they might the first few, but see if you can find that little balance. And you're kind of looking down towards your toes, but try not to let the shoulders come up really high. So keep the shoulders relaxed, and it's that tuck of your tail, that rounding of the back, that keeps you rolling like a ball and not slamming down like a brick, right? So keeping the connection of your spine into the mat as you roll, right? And just like the other exercise when we were using timing, right? You're using a little bit of momentum here, and just keep it moving and do about 4 more. Keep breathing. And the next time your legs are back there, you're gonna reach them up and rest your arms down. You can put your hands behind your hips, right? It's kind of like a shoulder standing yoga. Now from here, stretch your legs up towards the ceiling as much as they'll go so they're not hanging towards your head too much. Keep your hands behind your hips. Slowly control down. So your hands might kind of slide down the sides of your body as you roll, 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 roll. And then you bend your knees and you roll up to sit. Okay, I kind of just did that quickly, so you just go for it, but that's the idea, right? So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna roll back, hands down on the mat or up at your pelvis, whatever helps you. Try not to look at me because it's not great for your neck. So try just to listen to my words and not look at the screen. And so your legs now you can have them at an angle. So they're not directly up towards the ceiling, but they're not falling towards your head. They're somewhere in the middle. And you're stretching your legs out of your body. And then as smoothly and slowly as you can, you roll down through your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders might want to creep up, rest them down, and then bend the knees and chin to the chest, roll up to sit. Ooh, we go again. We roll back, arms push down or up at the hips. Try not to look at me. The legs stretch at a diagonal. Take a moment here to feel the spine long. The legs have to be active, otherwise the spine doesn't get full length. So stretching your legs out of your body. Now slowly rolling down, continue to stretch the legs. That will help you roll down. If you've never done this before, it's really difficult to control, so don't worry if you're plopping down, it's totally fine. Bend your knees and roll back up. Last time, roll back, stretch the legs, reach the legs out of your body. How much space can you create? Breathe, try to relax the chest, shoulders, and jaw. Keep stretching the legs, that's key, as you're rolling down. Use the arms for help if you need. Keep stretching the legs as you're rolling down. And then roll up to sit and try to not let your feet touch if possible. And then bring your legs into tabletop and roll a little bit back onto your sacrum. So you're in a teaser or a boat pose here. Either keeping the hands behind your thighs or adding the challenge of extending the arms, whatever you wish. And again, we check in with the neck, shoulders, we breathe, we smile, we take on the challenge and just be playful with it. Grab on behind the thighs. And now if you want to, stretching the legs, just an option, right? You can keep the knees bent. Open the chest. And the last variation, which is the full expression of the movement, would be stretching your arms up towards your legs. Now you can always keep the knees bent, right? They don't have to stay straight. Breathe deeply, exhale fully, and then lower the feet to the mat and slowly roll down through your spine. You might hold on behind the thighs for a little bit, or you might not. And then you stretch all the way back, extend the arms, and extend your legs for a moment. All right, take some time just to let the body rest here after all of that rolling and fun stuff. Let your body receive the breath. Feel the front body expanding as you breathe. So if you've done roll-ups before from here, like a Pilates roll-up with the legs straight, you can go ahead and do that. But if you haven't done many of those, just go ahead and bend your knees again. The feet aren't super close to your bum. They're kind of out there. Then bring the arms forward, chin to the chest like before. Grab on behind your thighs, smoothly curl yourself up. Open the knees like you did before and lean forward. Bring the hands in front or on the shins, and you can drop the head if you wish. Take about 3 breaths there, resting, resetting. Okay, coming back up, and you'll face the side of your mat. And what we'll do here is we'll kind of stagger the knees. So like I've got my bottom knee in front of me, and then my top knee is sort of on top of my other foot. It can be behind, just kind of staggering your knees so they're not directly on top of each other. Your top one is a little bit back. Now your hand, you're going to take it out a little bit far from you. And what we're going to do first is let your shoulders sink, which is not ideal, right? It's not what we want, but it's good to do it to feel the difference, right? And then press back out of it to feel, okay, there's not compression on one joint. There's a nice flow. The energy can move through my whole body. Do that again, a little sink into that shoulder and then lift out of it. Now what you're gonna do is bend your elbow and press up. So I'm never sinking in my shoulder, right? I'm doing like a mini kind of tricep push up here, right? Just to kind of get used to not sinking. What happens a lot with when we do the full kind of push up is we bend the elbow and we sink in the shoulder, right? But we want to keep that nice space open and supported. Now you're going to use this bend to push off, and I'll show you this. You're just going to press off and then smoothly land back down, right? Again, it's momentum. It doesn't have to come up high, but just enough to feel your hand yield into the floor and press back out. So it becomes quite natural and easy on the joints. Yeah, that's the idea. One more time. Okay, and we'll come back up to a straight arm. Now your bottom knee, have it be right in line with your hip and the shin parallel to the mat in front of you. And then your top leg out long. Now you might have to bring the hand in a little bit closer for this one because we're gonna bring our hips up, right? So we need the hand to be more under us. So you'll decide where you want the hand to be. You can bend the elbow, but again, not come into the shoulder, right? So we wanna keep space there. We can bend the elbow. And then we're gonna stretch our other arm and push our hips up. So using our hips and our arm, and then we lower back down, the arm can come right in front of you. Right, so pressing up and lower down. So the key here is that bottom arm. How is it supporting us? We want to be easy in the joint so that we can create strength there and not injury, right? Breathe. And one more time. We'll come up to the top and stay, and we'll just feel stretching through both arms, like you're lengthening both arms away from you, from the head or the gaze, wherever you want it to be. And then bring your top arm overhead and stretch your top leg and top arm away from each other. Make sure you don't begin to sink into that bottom shoulder. You can bend the elbow, but you don't want to sink into the shoulder. And then you lower the hips. You come back up. All right, and we'll switch sides. Okay, so we're staggering the knees, legs, just whatever is comfortable. And we're carefully coming into the shoulder space, right, to awaken it in a really healthy way. The hand can be pretty far out, and we'll do that. We'll do the sink first, right? So we sink into the shoulder with a straight arm, and we lift up. This is like locking my arm. If you have hyperextended elbows like me, you could lock that joint and sink here, which is very common and not great long-term, right? So what I want to do is, if you have hyperextended elbows like me, I would actually soften my elbow a little bit and then just move from my shoulder, right? And the shoulders are supposed to move a lot, right? There's a reason they're so mobile. It's just because of modern life and computers and all the things that we're not hydrating them enough. So then they get stuck in funny positions and our upper traps get really tight. So we do want them to move. So you'll come up to the top, and then we'll have nice stability through the joint here when we bend the elbow and press back up. It's a more of a subtle oblique exercise as well, so you might feel your bottom abdominals kick on. It's a way to just organize the joint space here. Sometimes I know this position for the knees or the hips is not the most comfortable, so I hope that you've been able to adjust if you needed to. You can put a prop under one knee or anything like that. Okay, we'll come up to the top, and now we're gonna change the legs. So we'll bring that top shin aligned with the mat. We'll extend the leg, and then we'll move our hand in underneath our shoulder. So we're really on top of our hand. Remember not to lock the elbow, but we want space here through the shoulder. And then we press up, and we use the shin here and the bottom arm to lift, and we lower the hips and the arm. And we reach up. And when you come down, you can bend that bottom elbow if your shoulder needs that space. Good. Breathe as you press away, and breathe as you lower. Breathe as you press away. Breathe as you lower. And we'll stay up on this last one here. Adjust the legs if you need to a little bit, and just feel both legs reaching away from each other. The neck is free. The elbow joint isn't locked. It's got a little bit of softness, a little bit of buoyancy. And then bring the arm overhead. Now, if that bottom shoulder doesn't have space, just bend the bottom elbow and feel a long line from your top foot to your top hand, and then smoothly lower back down. Come to a symmetrical position, any seated position you want, and just move your wrists a few times. We have done quite a bit on the hands. So we just kind of slowly wiggle the fingers, just get like creative and move them all around, just to create some flow through the joints of the fingers. and then bring it into the wrist. So again, it can be anything. I recommend going slow because it just helps the tissues recalibrate when you're able to move slower. You don't skip as many steps. And then if you're going in one direction, a circle, you could reverse it, right? Just, it's not, this doesn't need to be done a certain way. You're just finding your own movement through your wrists. Okay, and then you can just shake, shake, shake a little bit there. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we're gonna come to the elbows. So what we're gonna do is lie on your side underneath your elbow this time. So we don't have the wrist involved. And it's very similar to before, where we want to lift out of this bottom shoulder, right? So we're not sinking, we're lifting out. From there, we'll lift the hips and we'll stretch the arms. I didn't get specific with the legs, but they're bent and they're just stacked. Right, and then this top arm is gonna carve under so that you can twist and you can look to your right if you want and feel a lift in your spine up towards the ceiling and then open to the side again. And do that again, squeeze your legs together, lift your low belly and breathe as you twist. And press away to open and breathe as you twist. And press away to open. One more time, breathe to twist. Open and stay right here and feel long, spacious, lifted, supported, and rest the hips back down. Now you're gonna take that top arm and bring it in front of the other arm. So they're not on top of each other, just one's in front of the other. This is just a little bit of a funky transition, but you're gonna tuck your toes under and lift your hips up, right? So you're on your elbows and your butt's up and your knees are off, right? And we're just gonna let the hips and the feet twist a little bit to one side and roll over to the other side. So you have to kind of roll over your toes, right? If that doesn't feel comfortable on your toes, just go little with the hips. They don't have to be a big motion. Right? And then you're gonna turn your hips to the other side so that you can be on your other elbow, right? And you can repeat the other side. You can say how you are, and I'll just show this way. Okay, so just like before, we want the elbow underneath the shoulder, the knees are stacked. We check in, we maybe do one sink just to feel the difference, and then we lift up and go, oh yeah, that feels better. And then we lift the hips, extend. And you carve the arm underneath, and you reach it back up. And you carve, and you lengthen and open. And you breathe. Looking under that shoulder. And you breathe. And here's our last one, exhale. Lifting up, stay for a moment, feel the space between the shoulders, then the abdominals lifting in and up, and then gently lower down. Bring that elbow in front of the other one. And this time we're not gonna do the same twisty exercise we did. We're just gonna turn to our knees and then open our hands out in front so our arms are more like here. Yeah. And make sure you've got some mat behind you. So you might crawl to the front of your mat now. Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna take your right leg behind you with your foot on the mat, toes tucked under. And before you add the second leg, you're gonna check in with your shoulders. Take a moment to feel your spine lighting up towards the ceiling, the back of the throat long, the breath easeful. Take an inhale, smile, and add your second leg to an awesome plank. Or laugh. And then you can lower your hips if you feel okay to do that, but you want to stay in alignment. You can shift forward and back on the balls of your feet, or you can stay still, or you might have one knee on the floor, right? Whatever is working for your body. Whatever's challenging you just enough. Pause in your plank if you're there. Without the chin lifting, shine the heart forward, and then gently bend the knees. Relax, take a child's pose to reset, or some version of it. Deepen, slow the breath as we start to come to the end of the practice. We're gonna stretch out the legs and lower the belly to the floor. We're in a little Sphinx pose, so we're still up on our elbows. And we're gonna open the shoulders. We don't want our chin to come up too high, so we're actually gonna have our gaze a bit low, like a few feet in front of your mat. And then lift your belly off the mat so you feel that engagement of a low belly, my son. And even though the belly is lifting up, shine your heart forward without the chin lifting. Lots of things happening, right? So the low belly is lifting, the heart is shining forward, but the gaze is quite low. So we're getting into that upper spine, the little muscles in the upper spine. And then press your hands, put some energy into your hands, into the mat. And you might not physically come off the mat with your elbows, but you're feeling a lot more energy through your arms, or it might be that you actually do lift your elbows off the mat, right? It's up to you. You feel your fingers, your knuckles connect. You feel the low belly lifting as the chest opens and your spine is so beautiful, long and strong, and gently lower the elbows. Now take your arms out wide on your mat, onto your fingertips with your elbows out. Let your head for a moment rest down towards the mat, your forehead towards the mat. Your elbows are kind of popping up towards the ceiling. Breathe here. As your fingers connect you into the mat, you're going to curl your spine so that you're curling like a cat, so your upper back is curly, and then you arch your spine like cow and open your chest and wave your body back down. This is one where I want you to just find your own design of this movement, right? So allow your spine to move and unfurl. It might be really tiny, it might be really big and juicy, just really depends on you, what you feel is helpful today. What your body is calling for. You might look your head to one side as you do it, bring some more movement into the upper spine, and look the other side. Feeling the strength of the arms, and then rest your arms by your sides, forehead towards the mat. Reach the arms, inhale, lift the chest and the arms, and feel just like you're a long line darting through the air. Feel strength, support, the ease through the joints, and then rest down, looking your head to one side. Let your arms relax, wiggle your hips from side to side to let that go. Put the hands in front of you, tuck the toes under, take a brief child's pose, your last one here. Letting your body and your energy just rest into the floor, receiving the benefits of the movement and the focus that you've brought into your sphere for this hour. And slowly bring yourself up and just find yourself a comfortable seat. Any seat that you want. Could be even up on a chair. If you were using a block, you could sit up on your block. Whatever you like. Finding a seat where you can rest in and just bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. You might want to close your eyes. You might come back to that intention that you set at the very beginning of the practice, or just what you noticed about your energy at the start. And that becomes the close. Coming back to simply noticing. And the movement of the belly as you breathe, movement of the chest and the heart beating. You might notice energy flow feels very different or has shifted. Be aware of the quality of your breath, the way it feels. Maybe a color comes to mind. There's no right or wrong to what you notice, just taking the time to pause and notice. And then we'll bring the palms together in front of the heart space like we did standing at the start. And if it is helpful to come back to an intention, breathe that into your body. Or simply connect to your breath. Slowly. You might notice the pauses between the inhale and the exhale. As the body has settled now, has shifted into a new space, a new energy. Bring that sense of gratitude for yourself, for showing up today for yourself. Bring the chin towards the heart. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful day.